So, what is self-regulation? Well, self-regulation is a set of skills that children use to manage their behavior, attention span, emotions, and body movement when they are faced with difficult situations or challenges. These skills allow children to adapt to distractions, have positive social interactions with others, problem solve, show empathy for others, and calm themselves. So it is critical for these skills to be taught in the early years because, as mentioned in the kindergarten program, self-regulation is central to a child's capacity to learn. It is the cornerstone of development and a central building block of early learning. With that being said, we as educators have the responsibility to utilize a variety of strategies to help our children be self-regulated and ready to learn. So the question is, what are some strategies that we can do to promote self-regulation within our children? Well, first, we need to understand our children's behaviors and realize that each child is unique and responds to stress or challenges in different ways. So we need to really get to know our children and build trusting relationships with each one. And really, it starts with us. We need to practice good self-regulation. We need to remain calm, pleasant, neutral, and stay connected with each child. Next, it is so important that we think of the physical environment of our classroom, as it can be a source of stress for many of our children. So we need to ask ourselves questions like, does my classroom reflect a calming environment? Do I have calm lighting? Do I have enough space for the children to safely and easily move around? Do the children know the schedule and know what's coming up next? Do I have a quiet area where the children can go to relax, unwind, de-stress, think? These are all important questions to ask ourselves to ensure that our classroom environment supports concentration and learning. Also, some children may feel overwhelmed by high noise levels, certain sounds, and therefore noise blocking headphones and quiet areas can help alleviate this. Also, children who can't seem to sit still should have access to weighted objects like the weighted lizard, wiggle seats, squishy chair cushions, fidget toys. And the children should know that they are free to use these tools whenever they feel that they need them. Down-regulating strategies and up-regulating strategies should also be implemented in the classroom. Now, in regards to down-regulating strategies, we can help the children refocus by playing soothing music, reading aloud a story in the dark, and encouraging deep breathing. In contrast, though, we need to use up-regulating strategies for the children who need to burn off some energy. So we need to allow for physical movement throughout the day, like body breaks, and we need to allow the children to take just a break to walk around the classroom or even down the hallway to get a drink and back. It does make a big difference. Another important thing is that we need to teach the children and model for them how to use iMessages to communicate their thoughts and concerns with their peers. So for example, in my classroom, the children know to tell their peers how they feel first before coming to tell me their concerns. And I see this being used a lot during our learning labs, where the children have the choice to visit any lab. So at this point, they're monitoring and controlling their own behavior. So of course, with this, there are a lot of conflicts. Like a child may get mad because he or she wants to go to the lab that already has 4 children there, and somebody has been at that lab for a very long time and will not leave. So this is an example of when a child uses his or her iMessage with another child. The children also use the peace path in my classroom with each other, and this is used for conflict resolution in our classroom. So for example, let's say that 2 children are arguing over what game to play outside at recess. Well, the first step of the peace path is that both children get to use an iMessage. The second step is that each child has to repeat the other person's iMessage to ensure that they were both listening. The third step is each child gets to give a solution to the problem, and then the fourth step is they both agree on a solution. Now, it's really interesting. After a lot of modeling from my EA and I, and from a lot of practice, most of the children can follow the steps of the Peace Path independently. And for those that can't, we will guide them through this process when there is a conflict. So in summary, the self-regulation skills that children learn in the early years are so important to their success throughout their school career. And they will definitely be used or useful to them throughout their lives. That being said, I definitely recommend to educators a book called Bucket Filling from A to Z, and it's by Carol McLeod and Karen Butsky. And it's a book that I read aloud to the children every year, and then I leave it on our bookshelf and the kids look through it over and over again throughout the year. And it teaches children how to be bucket fillers and not bucket dippers. And it exposes the children to positive actions and choices that lead to a happier and more fulfilling life. So I encourage all educators, not just early years educators, but all educators to take a look at it and possibly read it to your kids in your classroom.